And let's get you all the latest reactions on how the showdown over the hijab ban in Karnataka is nowhere near over. The Karnataka High Court, which was hearing this matter for the last 2 days, referred the case to a larger bench yesterday. The Karnataka Chief Justice has constituted a fresh bench which will hear the case today at 2:30. A bench comprising of Chief Justice Rituraj Avasthi, Justice Krishna S. Dikshit and Justice J.M. Khazi will be hearing the case. Yesterday, to recap for you exactly what happened in court, you had the petitioner's lawyer arguing that the students should be allowed to return to classes because only 2 months are remaining now for the academic year to end and the girls should not be deprived of their education. So the petitioner is saying for 2 months, let them wear the hijab and then we can debate this later. The Karnataka government has said that it first needs to be determined if the hijab is essential to Islam. The state government has argued that a decision must be taken on the basis of law and not on emotions. They've also opposed the petitioner's demand for allowing the hijab for 2 months, saying that in essence means that they're allowing the petition. Let's take this across to our reporters on the ground. Nabila Jamal has been constantly getting us the live updates from Udupi. We also have with us Mustafa Sheikh, who's joining us also from Udupi. Nabila, to you first. Good afternoon. We're counting down to the Karnataka High Court hearing. 2 days. Everyone's been hoping that there will be some closure finally today because this issue rages on. The government also right now is very tight-lipped, waiting to see which way the High Court rules.
Right, Akshita, 2:30 is when the hearing will begin. In fact, it's been going on for 2 days. This is the 3rd day when the Karnataka High Court will take this up. But this time, it's going to be heard by a 3-judge higher bench. There's also a judge from the minority community, Justice Kazi, who's also in that panel. So the girls, of course, are really hopeful and wanting a judgment at the earliest where it's in their favor, where they can wear the hijab and enter classes. But on the contrary, the Karnataka government has maintained uniformity is a must, especially in institutions that have already given out a ruling asking for uniformity to be maintained inside classrooms. I'm standing right here, Akshita, at the Udupi PU Government College. Right behind me is the institution where the ruckus snowballed to proportions where we're seeing widespread ramifications across the country now. You have protesters across India now who are coming out in support and against the hijab ban. Of course, right now in Udupi you have colleges and institutions that have strict security right outside. Institutions have been closed for the next 3 days. This is actually the 3rd day. If at all the court decides that the verdict will not come out right now, they have to deliberate on the matter a little longer, then we've got to see if the Karnataka government will decide on issuing a further extension of the closure and ban of schools for a few more days until this verdict is out. Remember, Akshita, you have PU exams just around the corner, barely a month and a half before examinations begin. It's really a matter of grave concern when it comes to the educational future of all these students, including the ones wearing the hijab and the ones who don't.
You know, today, if there is no order or no verdict that comes from the court, perhaps we can expect one tomorrow. But if it's pushed beyond that, it means the weekend and then the matter is pushed to next week. The government will be hoping for clarity in the next 24 hours. Remember that they've shut down schools and colleges, as Nabila pointed out. That's a 3-day closure, which ends tomorrow. Then they have the weekend. So by Monday, the government will be hoping that this entire controversy dies down. And for that, the Karnataka High Court needs to rule on this matter. Before I take this across to Mustafa Sheikh, I just want to also introduce Nolan Pinto, who's joining us live from Bengaluru. Nolan, recap for us all that's happened in the Karnataka High Court in the last 2 days.
Well, Akshita, in fact, the Karnataka High Court looked into this particular issue after the 6 students filed a case over there stating that it is an integral part of Islam for them to wear their hijab. So this is one of the issues that the Karnataka High Court was debating. So it started with this issue. It started whether, like I stated, whether it's an integral part of Islam, whether wearing a hijab or the hijab is a facet of the fundamental right to freedom of speech and expression, and also whether the Karnataka government or not overstepped its authority in issuing the government order. Now, yesterday what really happened was this: when the hearing began or resumed, Justice Dikshit actually requested and asked both the Advocate General as well as the Petitioners Council whether or not it would be better if he could refer this particular case to a larger bench, keeping in mind the issues surrounding the personal law. initially both the Advocate General as well as the Council for the Petitioners were not in agreement with this. They stated that they had faith in his judgment and that he would actually come out with the best verdict. However, towards the end, both the Advocate General as well as the Council for the Petitioners agreed, and this case was then referred to a larger bench. The Chief Justice at 2:30, that bench now reconvenes. 3 senior judges, the Chief Justice is over there. You have Justice Dixit and another judge will be looking into this particular issue. So again, they will be focusing on these 3 main points that I have actually discussed. Students are waiting for this. The government is waiting for this. Most important, 9th, 10th, 11th, pre-university colleges and degree colleges were shut. Chief Minister will be having a meeting with the Home Minister, with the Education Minister this evening. This is after the case gets over to understand or not whether should they reopen colleges or should they head towards online classes, keeping in mind exams start in April.
Now, that's an important point. This evening, the Bombay government will decide what's to be done next. Whether next week also we'll see closure of schools where everything turns online all over again. There'll be a decision on that based on what happens in the Karnataka High Court. But as Nolan also pointed out, students will be waiting anxiously to see what the High Court has to say. And Mustafa Sheikh is joining us for more on that from Udupi. Mustafa, I want you to tell us what really is the mood on the ground. You know, coastal Karnataka is known to have a lot of these kind of very polarized debates. But this is perhaps for the first time that you're seeing students embroiled in something like this. Many of the petitioners in this case are based in Udupi. So what's the mood on the ground, you know, as we count down to this hearing?
Well, the situation here in the minds of students at least is very tense because it doesn't seem like that tomorrow or by Monday the colleges and schools in Karnataka will start, because this is the first day when the larger bench is hearing these issues. The Chief Justice and other 2 justices on the bench have to go through all the points which have been mentioned in the petition and then analyze this issue before coming to an agreement. At the same point of time, the issue has already been mentioned in the Supreme Court, which means that any delay from the High Court could take this entire matter to Supreme Court, and in Supreme Court the matter will not be of a petition of a girl from PU College in Udupi. It will then be Article 32 of the Constitution, wherein the girls are claiming that their fundamental rights have been impeached upon by the colleges which were allowing the hijab earlier but now not allowing due to the protest. So what clearly happened here is that when the protest started in PU, it was sent to the Education Department, and the Education Department came out with the rule that headscarves are not allowed, hijabs are not allowed in the classroom, due to which those colleges in Karnataka, in Udupi, who are allowing these girls with hijab, they also had to stop those girls and hence we saw protests from outside Udupi to many other places where it had taken place. So it's now becoming a larger issue and it's becoming a complex issue.
Right.
Plus student politics and student associations getting involved, sentiments are running high. It's very difficult to judge from the ground as to what will happen tomorrow. But yes, the future for these students as the exams are approaching is uncertain.
And let's hope whichever way this goes, whichever way the Karnataka High Court rules, that we see an end to all of the protests outside schools and colleges. Nabila, Nolan and Mustafa, request all of you to stay on with us. At this point, this debate is down to whether you're on the side of uniformity, of discipline, or on the side of religion and the freedom to express religion. Can there, in that kind of a scenario, be a legal solution as well? India Today's legal correspondent Anisha Mathur spoke to 2 top lawyers to decode the legal aspect of the hijab face-off.
If kirpan has been given as an example, I don't see why hijab also should not be. And similarly, Sikhs, when they wear a turban, you can't say that a school doesn't require a turban to be worn, so you have to remove your turban. So it's really creating a controversy out of nothing for merely political gain. Hijab is nearly a method of decency which that particular community feels is necessary for giving some kind of a sort of cover to these women. And if you will recall, there were cases where frocks were made mandatory in some schools, and parents said that we will not allow our children, girls, to go in frocks, and they went in salwar kurtas, and schools had to amend that discipline and permit salwar kurta to happen. So it's a very, very personal thing as far as the student is concerned. If they want to wear hijab, I feel that it's a fundamental right.
Now, even as the hijab war is resonating across the country, election season in Uttar Pradesh too, there have been many reactions that have come in. Prime Minister Modi, while speaking at a rally in Saharanpur today, reached out to Muslim women saying that they were being misled by political opponents.
विकास में बेटियों की सहभागिता सबसे बड़ी प्राथमिकता है। इसलिए आज हर सेक्टर को बेटियों के लिए खोला जा रहा है। मुस्लिम बहन बेटियां हमारी इस साफ नीयत को भली भांति समझती है। हमने मुस्लिम बहनों को 3 तलाक के जुल्म से मुक्ति दिलाई है और हमने जो 3 तलाक के खिलाफ कानून बनाया है, उसने मुस्लिम बहनों को सुरक्षा का विश्वास दिया है। लेकिन साथियों, जब मुस्लिम बहन बेटियों का समर्थन खुलेआम भाजपा को मिलने लगा, जब मुस्लिम बेटियां 1-1, 2 मिनट के अपने वीडियो डालने लगी, भाजपा की सरकार की तारीफ करने लगी, सदियों के बाद इतना बड़ा सम्मान मिला, इसके लिए गौरव गान करने लगी, तो जो कुछ वोटों के ठेकेदार होते हैं, उनकी नींद हराम हो गई। वो बेचैन हो गए। अरे हमारी ही बेटी मोदी मोदी करने लग गई। उनके पेट में दर्द होने लगा। मोदी की तारीफ में मुस्लिम बहनों के बयान, उनके वीडियो देखकर इन ठेकेदारों को लगा कि इन बेटियों को रोकना होगा। ये बड़ी मोदी के तरफ में चली जाएगी तो घर में ही उनका राज आ जाएगा। और इसलिए मुस्लिम बहन बेटियों का उनको हक रोकने के लिए, उनके विकास की आकांक्षाओं को रोकने के लिए नए नए तरीके खोजे जा रहे हैं। वो लोग मुस्लिम बहनों को बरगला रहे हैं ताकि मुस्लिम बेटियों का जीवन हमेशा पीछे ही रहे। साथियों, हमारी सरकार हर मजलूम, हर पीड़ित मुस्लिम महिला के साथ खड़ी है। कोई मुस्लिम महिलाओं पर जुल्म न कर सके, योगी जी की सरकार इसके लिए बहुत जरूरी है।
India Today was the first channel to get you details of this hijab face-off, and your channel has been at the forefront of this issue, bringing voices from both sides of the debate, from the girls who are leading the rebellion to the college administration also, that it's sticking to its guns and saying that the uniform is a must. All the top newsmakers on the hijab war are first and right here on India Today. Listen into some of them.
The poster girls of the hijab controversy that erupted in Udupi, Mangaluru, Karnataka. I have them with me, Alia and Shifa. Both of them have petitioned at the High Court. The High Court has said that they're going to give the matter to the higher bench. The matter is very complex. There's a lot of talk that if they allow you with the hijab, then they should allow every other person with their religious symbol inside classroom.
Actually, headscarf is not, it is a small issue. They could clear it yesterday itself. Okay, and I don't think so. If a saffron shawl is a right to them, they can allow it. But they created this issue soon after we are wearing it. This we are wearing it from before. Our ancestors, everybody used to wear this headscarf. Not only us, but everybody used to wear. I don't know where they brought a new rules. Actually, this rules about this saffron shawl, it came when when the MLA of Udupi gave a statement like, if your students are wearing a headscarf, tomorrow our student will wear saffron shawl.
MLA, which MLA said that?
Raghupati Bhatt sir said this thing just because to divert our issue. It was just a student issue, and he know it could be solved in
a meeting, but just to divert this issue, he gave the statement, and the communal actually started from that time.
Because of the BJP MLA. But I want to ask you, how did this matter escalate? You were going all the years you were studying with the hijab?
Yeah, in my first PUC, when I wore the hijab, they asked me to remove it. They forced me to remove it, and soon after lockdown took place, that issue could not be solved, and it did not came out to the media.
Right.
And in second PUC, what happened is, when our parents went to convince, our parents, they don't go direct and wear the hijab, because they'll do the same thing what they did in first PUC. So our parents said, when our parents went and asked for the principal to allow us to wear the hijab, he gave the dates. He said, come on this day, we'll discuss and tell you. He did the same thing, and for more than 2 months he dragged that issue with our parents and did not give any conclusion to it. Upon that he said, no, we can't allow you to wear the hijab.
PFI, the SDPI, all of that is backing you, they say?
Yeah, they are backing, because we approached them, our parents approached them for a help when they put us outside the class and not allowing us to enter the class, and our parents were already done begging them to allow us to go to the inside the class. At that time they approached CFI for the help, and I just want to say that in India, for a girl to ask for a justice, she must have been trained or what? She should be trained for ask to justice. Some other people should be trained her to ask for justice. Why I can't raise my voice for a justice?
Yashpal, there's a lot of talk that the college has not allowed hijab girls inside premises. All of a sudden, this was never a rule. This has come about just in the last 2 months. You tell us, what's the fact? Has this been a perennial rule?
According to me, there was a rule framed by the managing committee for the benefit of the student, because it is a government college. Also, that is a girls' college. In that manner, our managing committee framed the rules and regulation in form of uniform and dress code. So, till December 30th, these Muslim students were wearing the uniform as a normal student. But on December 31st, they used to violate the disciplinary rules. Then they started the controversy. Actually, there is no issue. The issue means the violation of the uniform rules framed by the schools and the colleges.
Now, Yashpal, what I understand from you is that these girls were not wearing the hijab.
No.
We spoke to Alia and Shifa. They have said that they have always worn the hijab. Even last year they wore the hijab. This year you all have come up with a new rule.
Alia and another girl,
Shifa.
she is not a part of a management. She is a student. Being a student, they should follow the rules and regulations framed by the management committee for the betterment of the student only. We have formed it because it is a girls' college, government college. 90% of the students come here are very poor and labor class peoples. So there should be no discrimination between the students. We have rules framed a new rules from 2004.
Right. I was just about to ask you, when did you frame these new guidelines and rules? Which year did you frame it? And when these girls joined, when they admitted inside at your college, did they agree to adhere to all those norms?
See, from 2004, the rules have been framed. From 2004, each and every students are following the same rules and regulation. At the time of admission also, they agreed to follow the rules and regulation, the directions given by the management. So there is no any mention about hijab, anything else. What all the directions and the rules framed by the regarding uniform, they should follow it. From December 31st, they have violated the disciplinary manner, the rules and regulation. So they have created the issue because something else behind this, some antisocial activity organization.
Yeah, of course, that is something for the government to investigate. Yeah. But as a college authority, Yashpal, I'd like to ask you, were these girls wearing the hijab last year?
See, till the college campus, they were used to wear. But it does not come under the management because inside the college campus, there should be a discipline, so management will take care of it.
Were these girls wearing hijab inside classrooms last year?
No, never. Because we have all produced all the documents, photos to the High Court. We have submitted the document. So there's no question of wearing hijab and entering into the classrooms.
So you're saying this never happened in the past?
Yeah, no, ma'am. No. We are having the document also. But they have separate colleges also. Before she went to Dandatirtha school also, she was not wearing hijab.
Tell me, in your document, you said that there are guidelines framed. In your document, do you speak about hijab not being allowed, or do you speak about uniformity among students?
We should not differentiate any student.
No, sir, I'm asking, I know that. I'm asking about what are your rules say?
No, hijab matter does not come now. Only follow the uniform rules.
No, what does your guideline say? You have a written note, written direction is there?
We have given the direction of the uniform.
Written
Yeah. We have the resolution also passed by the president and the principal and all the PT association. Every year at the starting of the college, we used to call the meeting of the PTA means Parents Association, management all. Any matters comes, we'll discuss and we'll finalize. All the parents of the students will sign the resolution in their presence.
Right. So you're saying that when these girls admitted themselves to college, that time the rules were there and they were told not to wear it?
See, from the beginning, the rules were same. Only on December 31st, they violated the rules and regulations.
How did they violate it?
Because some anti-social activity organization came into them.
That is for the again it's for the government and the police to investigate. You tell me, how did the girls violate? They came outside college and said what? Tell us, what did they say?
31st they came. Our principal and our staff did not allow them into the class. On the 1st January, we called up a meeting of PTA and called all the students' parents, and in the presence of our MLA and some other department, we take a decision.
There was an MLA inside a college meeting?
Yeah, he's the president of the institution.
Okay, he's also the president of the institution. So what was the discussion all about at that time, and did the parents agree at that time that they will not wear the hijab?
What they agreed is, we took a decision, we'll forward the issue to the government. So the PU board, after the decision comes, we'll follow that. So the PU board given the direction that we'll form one committee. In that committee, we'll take the reports and we'll give the decision. Till that, status quo should be maintained. Before of the students used to come to the class, at the same manner, they should come and attend the class. Later also, they used to come and violate. They used to go to media. They used to show the placard. They were more than being a student. They were not acting like a student. They were acting like an organization.
An activist.
Activist, yeah. That's so.
No, that is not right. If there is a rule that has already been set in place and stipulated by the college management for years. In fact, he says 2004, which means it's close to 2 decades that the college has been following a strict norm of uniformity inside, as per Yashpal. Then in that case, it's a clear violation.
One thing I'm going to tell you, more than 965 students are there. 90 students belong to Muslim community. Only 6 of them have issued raised the issue.
Yeah.
Other 90 students, means 80 students are normally attending the class. They don't have any problem at all. Their parents also are happy because being a government college located in the city area, the students come more than from 5 districts from the the coastal district, because we get good quality of education, all the infrastructure. You come to know, if you go look at our college, it is, we can consider as a private college also, because we have all the options.
I get it. It's a great college. Government Udupi PU college has been always doing a great job.
They should be a student of this college, not creating an issue of hijab.
Sir,
they should be proud of being a student of this college.
Sir, absolutely. Yeah. We must be proud of our educational system. Our institutions in Karnataka are stellar institutions, let me tell you. They're one of the best. You have people from across coming down to Karnataka to study. That's how great our educational institutions are. So undoubtedly, what would you tell the students, sir? A quick word.
Because of this 6 students, more than 950 students are facing the problem, because they are from poor background. They don't have any other colleges, because private colleges, their fees structure will be.
Sir, a quick question: will you give online education to those girls until the court's order is out?
We are not taking any decision. We are telling them, if you obey the rules and regulation framed by the college, you are allowed without any rules.
If not, you stay out. If not, you stay out.
No.
If not, you stay out.
We told them, if you are not happy in this environment, you can take the TC, and wherever you get, they allow hijab, you can go and join that college also.
So until then, you will not give online education either?
Compromise in our decision. Because 960 students are there. Because of 6 students, we don't want to spoil the future of the 960 students.
All right, sir.
Because it's a government college, you come to know that.
No, we heard you, absolutely. If you have a norm, if there is a rule in place, there's no room for violation. And if they've not worn the hijab earlier and now come up with the hijab, that's it's a redundant debate or a discussion.
You may knowing that Udupi, it's an education lab. More than 25,000 around the world comes here for education,
sir,
because the quality of education.
I just conveyed that to our viewers. 100%. I agree with you, and I thank you very much. Thank you very much. We got it.
Now, 2 days since protests rocked Karnataka, it continues to spread nationwide. Karnataka to Kolkata to Maharashtra, the hijab heat has triggered a wave of solidarity. Women have been taking to the streets to extend their support over the right to wear hijab. In Maharashtra's Beat, students put up posters that read "Pehle hijab, fir kitab," or essentially hijab first, then books. Other posters included "Hijab is our right," and these posters, they were put up yesterday, were removed on the SP's orders. Meanwhile, in Pune, the Hindu Mahasabha carried out an anti-hijab saffron procession. The Hindu Mahasabha members even calling for parents across the country to send their children to schools dressed in saffron.
ये जो बैनर लगाया गया था उस पर आप अगर पढ़ेंगे तो उस पर लिखा हुआ था हिजाब और किताब, और आप देखेंगे कि हर खूबसूरत चीज़, हर कीमती चीज़ पर्दे में होती है। हम यही संदेश देना चाह रहे थे कि भाई आज हिजाब पहनना कोई जुर्म नहीं है। 70 साल से हमारा देश जब से आज़ाद हुआ, जब से हिजाब पहना जा रहा है, और 1000 साल से मुस्लिम महिलाएं पूरी दुनिया में हिजाब बुर्का पहनती है। लेकिन आज आप देखेंगे कि उस उडुपी शहर में क्या हुआ था, और उस शहर को देखते हुए ये उसका न्यूज़ देखते हुए यहाँ पर भी बच्चियों में डिस्क्रिमिनेशन की भावना अपने अंदर आई थी कि ऐसा लग रहा था कि हम बुर्का पहन कर यहाँ कॉलेज में नहीं जा सकते, कुछ हो नहीं सकता। इसलिए हमने इनको एक संविधान में रहते हुए, संविधान के अंदर रहते हुए, कानून के दायरे में रहते हुए हमने एक बैनर लगाया था।
ठीक है, हर इंस्टीट्यूशन का अपना होता है, वो चीज़ ठीक है, बट जब कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन खुद आपको ये हक देता है कि आप लोग आपके कल्चर को फॉलो करो, यू कैन फॉलो एनी ऑफ द रिलीजन यू वांट टू लिव द वे यू वांट टू लिव, तो फिर क्या मतलब, हर किसी को अपना राइट जीने का हक है।
Let me take this back across to Nabila Jamal, who's reporting from Udupi. We also have Nolan Pinto, who's joining us live from Bengaluru with all the updates of what's expected in the Karnataka High Court. In just a few moments from now, we're expecting the hearing to officially kick off. Nabila, I want to come across to you. You know, these protests and this entire Hijab Showdown fire has spread rapidly across the country. There are some who are backing these girls and their right to wear hijabs to educational institutes. There are others who are wearing saffron now in response. I want to understand from you what's happening in Udupi. With the closure of schools and colleges, have the protests now properly ended?
Yes, in fact, Akshita, right now there isn't a formal prohibitory order notice that's been given out, but it is an unsaid rule or a said rule. The police are keeping an eye on educational institutions, but I'm actually standing at the Udupi Government PU College where the ruckus kicked off, but I don't see one police officer here. But nonetheless, I think it's not necessary as of now because students are no more coming to college because of the 3-day closure. So there isn't anyone inside college premises, but students who have been protesting have been strictly warned by the police and by their own managements. In fact, the great part of the managements of all these institutions is that they've said that not just students with the hijab, of course that itself is debated, now matter is in court, but even those who came with saffron shawls were cracked on their knuckles. The college managements were very strict about even those students who are counter-protesting wearing saffron shawls, saying we will not allow you also inside. In fact, if you continue to protest like this, you'll be detained. That was the kind of strict message that was given to those students, many of the boys, particularly boys who came up with saffron shawls saying they wanted to enter if they were allowed in hijab. So managements have been quite strict. They're saying that, you know, we are not going to allow anybody inside who's creating a ruckus outside, be it the ones with the hijab or the ones with the saffron shawls. That apart, here, Akshita, we see that the petitioners, at least 5 petitions is now going to be heard by the Karnataka higher bench. Apart from that, 18 girls in total, mostly from the Udupi colleges, not just the government college, but across Udupi colleges, have petitioned. 18 girls and 5 petitions now is what the Karnataka High Court will be looking into. Now, there is a situation that has happened here, Akshita, I'd like to highlight, is that Udupi Government PU College was not allowing for hijab. In fact, they claim that the rule has been since 2004, but these girls say that immediate seniors were allowed to wear it. But they were heckled, yes, but they were still allowed to wear. Eventually, the college says that at least from the last 1 year, it's been a strict ban on any kind of religious symbol inside classrooms. Now, there were several other colleges, Akshita, right around the vicinity of Udupi district that were allowing for girls to come into colleges wearing the hijab. This controversy has now resulted in a massive fallout where all these other surrounding colleges in Udupi, which were earlier allowing for girls to wear hijab in classrooms, are also now outrightly opposed, saying because the matter has escalated, we do not want complications. Therefore, as per the government order, we will not allow you inside hijab. So now, not just those 6 girls who have petitioned, but there are many number of girls. Collectively, 18 is the number who have now approached the Karnataka High Court. In fact, let me also remind you, a petitioner has also reached the Supreme Court asking for the Supreme Court's intervention, looking at this kind of ramification of this controversy across India, asking for the Supreme Court to step in, calling this a fundamental right. Also, I'd like to mention that when you speak about fundamental right, the state government can easily outstep or sidestep it if at all it comes to a situation of public order. Now, we saw the kind of law and order situation, a public order situation that was of grave concern for the government, where protests erupted in most parts of Karnataka, including Shimoga, Belagavi, Mandya, Udupi, of course. And looking at that kind of commotion, the state government decided to ban it, citing public order. So it's now going to be a detailed approach. While the three-judge bench actually looks into the matter, they will be going into detail because there are several constitutional questions that are cropping up as and when they probe this case, Akshita.
Some important points that you've made, Nabila, particularly about the Supreme Court also hearing this matter. The Supreme Court too has said, let's wait and see how the Karnataka High Court rules in this matter. Nolan, any updates that you've been able to pick up so far from the court? Has that hearing resumed?
Well, Akshita, as of now, not yet. We are waiting for that to take place. It's very important. In fact, all eyes now will be on Court Hall number 1, headed by the Chief Justice, and 2 other judges will be looking into this particular issue. Now, yesterday, very important points were actually made on this, on the need or the necessity to actually refer this case to a larger bench, keeping in mind issues of personal law, the enormity of the issues being debated. That is why Justice Dixit decided that it would be better that not him, but a larger bench actually look into this particular case. Furthermore, we are also told, as of now, the government is also in a dilemma. Akshita, we have spoken about this earlier, because what will happen today? Will the Chief Justice actually come out with an order as such today, or will it be postponed to another date? The government is now eagerly waiting for this, because students have been sitting at home for quite some time because of COVID, online classes. It is only recently that they actually started to head to pre-university colleges and also degree colleges. So whatever happens today in the court, this evening, the Chief Minister, along with his senior cabinet colleagues, especially from the home and the education, will meet and decide what next. Should they open colleges? If they open colleges, will the students accept? Will protest start again? Or should they just shut the colleges, focus on online classes, and 16th of April pre-university exams start and let that go also online? So a lot of decisions, important decisions, will be taken this evening. All depends on what happens in the next few minutes when the session begins.
We'll be tracking the latest on that hearing, expected to resume in a few minutes from now. Nolan, Nabila and Mustafa, do stay on with us. We're going to continue tracking the story very closely. Another aspect of the hijab showdown that I'll be getting you details of in just a few minutes from now.